So how do we keep ourselves from getting lost? How do we learn to live our most authentic and alive lives? It doesn't have to mean making radical changes, quitting our jobs, and setting off into the sunset. It doesn't have to mean burning bridges or gambling with our livelihoods and relationships. Sometimes we may be moved to make some significant changes in our lives, but mostly it's not about changing our outward circumstances so much as it is about changing ourselves. Because when we change the world within us, everything changes in the world around us, even if nothing changes. Hello everyone. This is the EvoFaith Podcast, where we learn through intentional spiritual practice to master the world around us by mastering the world within us. I'm John, the founder of EvoFaith, and today I want to talk to you about how the pause can help us to listen and hear ourselves better so that we can live more authentically and fully. If you find this episode helpful, then please like it and share it with others, and make sure you don't miss any future episodes by subscribing and activating notifications. Thank you so much. There's an experience that I believe is almost universal among human beings, even though many may not realize what they're going through. It's the experience of losing ourselves in the chaos of life, relationships, roles, work, and expectations. We become so caught up in trying to be what we need to be to survive or succeed, to make our loved ones happy or to belong, that we hide ourselves. Over time, piece by piece, we cut away the parts of ourselves that don't fit into the lives we're creating for ourselves. Eventually, more and more of these parts get lost until we no longer recognize ourselves. Some of us may never actually realize that we've lost ourselves. Others of us feel only the nameless sense that something is missing in us. And some of us know that we've lost ourselves, but we don't know how to change it and find ourselves again. Now, I know that this whole idea of losing and trying to find ourselves is the source of many jokes. Maybe you're already rolling your eyes, but stay with me for a while. Often these memes and jokes and stereotypes are just oversimplifications of something real that we all experience. Maybe that's why they started in the first place and why they're so darn funny. It's because we all know what it feels like. It's a common experience. But we're all a little embarrassed by it, and so we laugh at it to pretend it's not a big deal. But what if it is a big deal? What if it touches on something deep and important about who we are? Well, I believe it does. And I believe that it also impacts the small daily details in our lives in significant ways. Through the month of February, I've been talking about the power of the pause. I've spoken about how a consistent practice of pausing can help us to bring our best, most present selves into the various facets and experiences of our lives. And I've explored how the pause can help us to stop the domino effect in our lives and create space between what happens to us and how we react or respond. But the pause isn't just about taking a moment here and there to respond more mindfully. It's about bringing mindfulness, intentionality, authenticity, and being fully present into our whole lives. And that's not something we can do when we feel lost. As the philosopher and psychologist William James noted, we all know a sense of dividedness within us. We all know the person we are, and we have an image of the person we imagine we could be, the better self we long to be. But there's a gap, a divide between who we are and our better selves. It's scary and vulnerable to admit this dividedness, even to ourselves, and so we create an acceptable self that will fit in, help us belong, and keep us safe among others. And we hide that best self, that self we long to be. But it doesn't go away. And most of us know the deep ache to listen to the call of that more authentic self and create a life that fits us, that feels authentic and fulfilling, and that can allow us to just be who we are. I recently discovered the television show Make It at Market, in which various creators are helped to turn their passions into viable businesses. It has amazed me to see all these people who have lived with a longing for a different, more authentic life. And it's always a joy to watch them begin to create the life they dream of and release the life they settled for. Perhaps I resonate with these stories so much because that has been my journey too. It still is in many ways. But I'm far enough on the road to know that I can't go back to the lostness I once knew. So how do we keep ourselves from getting lost? How do we learn to live our most authentic and alive lives? It doesn't have to mean making radical changes, quitting our jobs, and setting off into the sunset. It doesn't have to mean burning bridges or gambling with our livelihoods and relationships. Sometimes we may be moved to make some significant changes in our lives, but mostly it's not about changing our outward circumstances so much as it is about changing ourselves. Because when we change the world within us, everything changes in the world around us, even if nothing changes. So how do we make these inner changes that help us to reconnect with our lost selves and live more authentically and vibrantly? Well, quite simply, we can pause regularly, consistently, and deliberately. We can slow down and start to truly listen to ourselves. We can take the time to get to know ourselves deeply and as objectively as possible. And we can begin to value our authentic selves more highly. And then as we allow our true selves to have more space and presence in our lives, we will find that in moments when things happen to us that we are tempted to react to, we can more easily and consistently pause, listen to ourselves, and respond more mindfully. And we can make sure that we don't lose ourselves in the process. This is the power of the pause. And I invite you to nurture that power in your life. In my free subscriber emails, I offer some clear and practical suggestions for slowing down, connecting with others, and bringing our authentic selves into our lives and relationships. So if you want to go deeper in learning to hear and listen to yourself, feel free to head over to EvoFaith.com and sign up. And you'll also receive my free ebook entitled Master Your World, a guide to changing the world around you by changing the world within you. In the next episode, we'll be expanding on this discussion about the power of the pause. And we'll be looking specifically at living more slowly, deliberately, mindfully, and fully. I look forward to sharing that conversation with you. But that's it for this week. Thank you for giving me your time and attention. I hope this conversation will help you to pause more and to hear yourself better. So stay connected to the sacred within you and around you, and I'll catch you next time.